Alright guys, here we are again. I did the sequencer rebox here a little while ago, and I had quite a few requests for either a schematic or me to do a video on how I did it, and I'm looking at getting some more sequencers. Well, I was looking at getting another one to redo it, but I'm going to try to hold off until I can get just the board and not the sequencer and all the plastic. But again, these are the 10Q variable time sequencers from mortartubes.net. He sells these. They're great, and I just figured I'd do a quick little tutorial on, not necessarily on the process of doing it, but I'm going to kind of try to show you as well as I can on one of the ones that I did, kind of what you need to do and what wires need to go where. It's really not difficult at all. I'm telling you, if I can do it, anybody can do it. So here's what it looks like when it's finished. But you got to remember, when you get the board or when you get the sequencer, it's probably going to be in the plastic case and all that other stuff. So here's what the one I did looks like. The first thing you're going to have to do is make sure that you have DB25 connector soldered up. Okay, you can either have, I know Mike McCoy from TRM Pyro, he'll do it for you, or you can do it. What's important though is that you see, pencil here, right here, you have pins 1 and 14 soldered together, heat shrinked up, and they are one wire. You've got 2 and 15 soldered together, heat shrinked up, they're one wire, and so on until you get to the last 5 pins. You got one, let's see if I can get that. You got 1 pin, 2 pins, and on the other side you got 3, 4, and 5. You got 5 wires total that are going to go together, that are going to go to the ground. Okay, now so there's your wires coming out of that. They go to here. Now, when you get your sequencer, this clip here and this clip here are going to be 1 through 5 and 6 through 10. Okay, so you just need to pay close attention to which ones are which. And it's going to go in order when you get them. So, like this pin right here, this clip right here this one's actually 6 through 10. So let's start here. This one's actually 1 through 5. So starting here, this red wire, you can see where it enters here is number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1 through 5, let's see here. Yeah, it's the blue wire. And then you've got 1 through 5 here, and then you've got the ground. And on the board you can tell. What I did was I took, you can see I've heat shrink these. There's heat shrink tubing on this. I took the blue to 1 black wire, and then I had that black wire. See, now I've got the blue on this black wire right here. There's the blue, the ground, coming out to 1 wire here. And then, so then you can see here, I've got all 5 wires. All these wires here coming from the DB15, got them all heat shrink together. I can probably use the pencil to show you a little better. Got them all heat shrink together here, and then going into my 2 blue. There's my ground there, and my ground right there. Okay. So I've got ground, which is blue, ground, which is blue. Then we've got the red is 1, black is 2, yellow is 3, white is 4, green is 5. Q is 1 through 5, okay? Then here, this is 6, 7, 8, white is 9, and green is 10, okay? So that's a relatively easy part. Now what you're going to have to do, you got to remember, you're going to have to take all the plastic off of your sequencer. You'll take the what comes off first? I think the top and the bottom off, and then you're going to end up with your board. which is going to look like this. Okay. Well, you have to cut all the wires that are on the board. Okay, so you're going to have to cut the wires that are on the output. You're going to have to cut the wires that are on the input. And here's something very, very important. I'm going to try to zoom in and show you, because I almost ruined one board doing this. Obviously, you can't see them very well, but these two wires right here. Let's see, red and black. Okay, and these two. Let's see. Yeah, right there. Red and black, those two little stubs. Those are the wires that go to the 9-volt batteries that you hook up to power the system. Okay? There's obviously two hookups that you hook up to power the system. Two 9 volts. Right there and right there. Okay? Do not hook your 12-volt power source up to these those wires. If you hook 12 volts up to these wires, see if I can zoom in and show you. That right there is a trace. What I got my ink pen on, that's a trace. You'll cook it instantly, because I did it. Okay? Don't hook those batteries up. First thing you need to do, cut them off. Just cut them off flush with the system. You're going to hook your batteries, your 12-volt battery, right here. I used color-coded 18-gauge wire for this. Not that, you can use whatever you want, but it's much easier if you use color-coded. The yellow wire, right there, you can see we can follow it. It's going here. I've got a overload protection on it. There, a little fuse. I had tape on it, but I took it off so you can see what it looks like. I got it going from there to the positive on the battery, and the negative is the black. Okay, I've heat shrinked them with color-coded heat shrink, and then the black is also heat shrinked right there. Okay, so then you're also going to have this connector here is going to have all kinds of stuff coming off of it. Okay, so something you can do is you got a red and a blue. I put them together and put an X on them because they don't do anything that's going to help me. I'm sure they've got a function, but for this Reeboks, they got no function for me. So I put them together and put an X on it. I could have cut them off, but I didn't. Okay, the white wire, you can cut that one, snip it. You could, if you want to, you can snip it all the way down at the base of it, down here, because it doesn't have a function either. The only wires that you're going to use are going to be the yellow and the black that are going to go to your battery, and your green, let's see here, your green right here, that's going to go to the black on your, okay, the green wire is going to go to the negative on your input, which is right there, and there's a red wire right there that's going to go to the positive on your input. Now those wires are pretty easy to figure out because they're going straight to the inputs on the other board, so those aren't too tough to figure out. So again, the red, this blue, and this white here, they don't do anything. You can cut them. We've got charge ports. I put charge ports on this, obviously, so you don't have to take the panel off all the time. To do that, you take I just put the two of them together. About the only thing on the board that isn't soldered are these two, just so I could take this battery off and change it if I need to. You're going to take the hot from your charge port, this red wire here. You're going to run it right into your battery, and the black from your charge port is going to run to the black on your battery. Let's see here. Okay, for the switch, the power switch, you're going to run from right here on the left side of the board. You're going to run a black right here and the red. And like I said, it helps. It sounds kind of goofy, but it helps a lot if you use color-coded heat shrink and color-coded wires Black and red are running right to, let's see if I can move this stuff here. They're running right to the switch. It looks like the white's running to it, but it's not. It's obviously there's nothing there. So the black and the red are running right to the switch. Right there. White's not doing anything. Okay. And the yellow and the white on the left side are running to the output. The yellow is positive on the output and the black is negative on the output. I don't know if polarity even matters on those, but that's how I did it. Now, some things you'll want to think about. When you first take the plastic off the system, let's see here if I can show you this. You may not realize it, but the faceplate to this is not, you'll have to pop that off of the plastic. You'll pop it off. You can either try with super glue to glue it on to the actual plate, or you can just use the pressure from the screws that you mount the circuit boards with, these screws here. You can just use those to hold that plate on there. I stuck a Q-tip, or not a Q-tip, a toothpick in a bottle of super glue, ran it around the outside of the rim, like right around here on the inside of the plate, stuck it on there, held it, and it seemed to stay. So I know I've heard that some people are having a little bit of trouble getting them to stay. That's the first thing I did, was that. I mounted that. Then what you're going to want to do is mount your posts, your charging ports, your switch, and your DB25. That way you know before you mount your board on there. To me, that's how I did it. That way you know when you mount your board how long your wires need to be. So then after you mount this stuff, I would lay the board up there like it's going to be, and I would go ahead and pre-cut my wires so you know exactly how long they're going to be. And then, you know, if you think it's easier to solder up all the wires with the board not mounted to it, then don't mount them to it. You're going to have 5 screws. You're going to have 1, there's 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you can see they've got standoffs. They're really small standoffs. I don't know, they're probably 3/8 of an inch standoffs. And they're just the perfect size to get that screen, just enough pressure on that screen to hold it in there up against the panel. So I'm trying to think here. It looks like I've gone through everything. A lot of you guys, if you are getting your panels from Mike McCoy, I know he changed it. He moved the location of the DB25. I think it's either on the top or the bottom now. So you can mount a 2 batteries, 24 volts. This is one of the first ones that he did. Actually, I think it is the first one he did. He did it for me. So it's in a little bit different of a spot. So I'm just trying to make sure that I went over everything. Yeah, I heat shrinked everything. Blue, there's some clear heat shrink here and blue, whatever, but it helps a lot if you can use 18 gauge wire on this. It's not like there's any little spots where you can't get it into. 18 gauge wire will work. Color code your heat shrink everywhere there's a connection. Here with the overload protection, I didn't heat shrink it because I put electrical tape on it. And then if you get one of Mike's little kits, he'll give you everything you need as far as these connections and stuff goes. And I hope that was hope that little explanation was good enough. Again, like I said, of course, this is upside down. But like I said, this is a simple project. It may look intimidating at first, but really it's not. Once you break it down to basics and take wire for wire, it's not bad at all. So, you know, let me know what little I know about this stuff. I may be able to answer. You know, it helps a lot if you zip tie your wires together. It makes everything nice and clean. So if there's anything, if you have any other questions, feel free to ask. If not, I'm sure I'll just direct you to Mike because he seems to know about everything there is to know about this stuff. So I hope you enjoy.